The Rams with their most complete game of the season. Hello, everybody. Terry Bennett here on the Jack Powell Ford Mineral Wells Football Show, right here on S2S Sports Network, part of L4 Media. As the Rams beat Sanger 48-10, they score 20 in the first, 14 in the second and the third. The game had basically decided at halftime. It was 34-3. It's a complete game. As you'll hear Coach Cody Worrell talk about, this was probably the most complete game. I don't want to say probably. This was the most complete game for the Rams this year. They started off with a great defensive stand on a scoop and score, and then it just, they just stayed aggressive. And that's the thing you always will hear Coach Worrell talk about, both offensively and defensively, and all coaches, but especially in this system, especially defensively, be aggressive. Don't think. Know your assignments to where you can react without having to think, because that millisecond delay is the difference in a defensive end setting the edge or the defensive end getting hooked. It's that quick. And you're starting to see this Ram team react instead of think. Offensively, running for 308 yards on 35 carries, 9 yards a carry, 5 touchdowns. Jovan Ramirez, 5 carries, 156 yards. Even the passing. Now, Mineral Wells aren't going to throw the ball a lot. They threw it 6 times. But for 126 yards, Owen Gadd, 2 for 5 for 73 yards. Ramirez again. He threw one time for 53 yards and a big touchdown to Caden Casper, the junior. And they just went out and beat Sanger. That's what you're supposed to do. Now, though, it's going to be a tough one, as Mineral Wells will be hosting Graham coming in this Friday night, and the Steers are the real deal. Ty Thompson, one of the most electric quarterbacks in 4A. I think the thing that's scary about them is they're all juniors. So whatever they do this year, and they can win state, folks. And yes, I know that when you're in Division II, you've always got Carthage looming, but still, they can win state this year. And if they stay healthy, what they can do next year, and of course, depending on realignment and where they end up, this Graham team is in the middle of a very big cycle that this year and next year is going to produce a lot of victories. This is going to be a tough one for the Rams, but it's a great building experience. You're not going to see another team until Decatur that's as good as Graham. And that's not knocking anybody else in the district. That's just the facts. Decatur, and don't look at Decatur's record. Look, go look at who they played. Go look at that Stephenville game, where I still contend that if there hadn't have been a rain delay and that game had finished out as it was going, that I think Decatur would have won that game. They were up 3 touchdowns once and 2 scores twice. And then a big rain, the rain, that was 2 weeks ago, all the rain and stuff. And then Stephenville came back on them. They lost to Anna, who is really, really good this year. They lost to Ryder, who is really, really good this year. So, don't count them out just by their record. But honestly, as far as the rest of 4A Division I, I definitely think that Graham is better than any team in 4A Division I outside Decatur. And I don't know if Graham might not be better than Decatur this year. So this is going to be a tough one, but it's a great warm-up right before district play starts. As always, we're going to be talking to Coach Worrell about the win against Sanger, about the Graham matchup. And we want to thank our title sponsor, Jack Powell Ford. You can find them online at jackpowellford.com. The great thing about shopping for cars nowadays, you don't even have to leave your home, really. You can even get pre-qualified at jackpowellford.com. You don't even have to use your Social Security number. You can look up all their inventory. If you're having issues with your car, you can give a call to their parts department, 940-468-3111, or their service department, 940-468-3121, and they'll take care of you. And again, we appreciate them being a title sponsor here on the Mineral Wells Football Show, the Cody Worrell Coaches Show, whatever you want to call it. All right, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, it is the head coach, Cody Worrell, right here on the Mineral Wells Football Show on S2S Sports Network, part of L4 Media. Here at L4 Media, we talk high school football, 4A, 3A, and 2A in Texas. We talk East Texas sports. We talk NFL, guy talk, movie and booze. We also talk wrestling and so much more. And you can see it all on our YouTube channel at L4 Media Company. Like and subscribe. Terry Bennett back here on the Jack Powell Ford Mineral Wells Football Show. Now joined by the head coach of the Rams, Coach Cody Worrell. And Coach, great win last week over Sanger. I'm going to say it. That was your most complete game y'all have played so far this year.
Oh, without a doubt. Man, our kids came out, came out on fire, and we got off to a hot start. But I was more proud of the way they finished it and kept their foot on the gas pedal and got through the game.
Yeah, you bring up a good point right there. We are definitely in an era where, to me, a 22-0 lead early in the game can easily be chipped away at, and that's exactly where y'all were. And Sanger actually put up a pretty good drive after that, but y'all forced them into a field goal. And to me, that kind of set the rest of the game.
Oh, no doubt. No, I was super happy with the way our they put together a good little drive. We got a 15-yard penalty on 4th and long after we stopped them, and we got a face mask called. And it was a face mask, but it was an effort play. It wasn't like it was intentional, so I wasn't upset with that. But our defense bowed their necks up, and they had 1st and 10 from the 14, and they bowed their necks up and forced the field goal. So I was super excited about how they responded to that. And then our offense just went down the field again and scored. So.
When you have a game like this where, it's a complete victory, how do you approach the film study? How do you approach the next week? Because I always have coaches tell me that they love when they win, but they also love when they have like 3 or 4 things they can really hammer down on. Do you have 3 or 4 things from this game that you can hammer down on that they need to fix going into the next game and going forward?
Oh, without a doubt. We lined up wrong, a couple of times defensively. And then, offensively, we cut down on penalties, but, there were still some things that we can definitely, fix. And there were some communication errors between the sidelines and the huddle offensively that took place in that game that we can clean up. And, we put the ball on the ground one time and always, looking for a perfect game where you don't have any turnovers. And we weren't able to execute on that. There's so many things that we've got to work on to get better and get better in a hurry.
Defensively, y'all run a very aggressive style defense. That's very much don't think stupid, just react. But that takes time. You got to drill that in. You're starting to see your players be aggressive. And I saw some video, and I was just impressed with that defensive line play.
No, that's one thing. Early on in the year, I thought that our defensive line, defensive ends weren't playing what the defense is meant to play, low and fast. And I thought our kids were thinking too much, and so, and we had some kids that were out of position, just being new here, and we're trying to get our kids in the right spots. And once we figured that out, I feel like we've got a pretty good grasp on, who needs to be playing where. And, our kids aren't thinking as much. They're just going, and the whole point of this defense is to go, 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 don't think. I think our defensive coordinator is doing a really good job of going back to the basics and implementing to our kids.
Well, and you and I talked last week, and we talked about, after the loss, how would this team react? Last year they'd started out 3-0, and then they lose 7 in a row. I'm very impressed that not only did they win after losing, but again, as we're talking about, maybe y'all's most complete game of the year.
No, I was super excited. I told the kids, and told the kids early, in the week last week, I had a bad taste in my mouth, and I hope they did too, and apparently they did, because they came out with their hair on fire, and I was super, super proud of the way they played. A good physical football game, for the most part, a clean football game, and I was super proud of the way they responded after getting beat against Benbrook.
All right, so your prize for winning and going to 3-1 is now you get to play the number 8 team in the state in 4A Division II in Graham, the 4-0 Steers. They are the real deal this year.
They are, man. I'm telling you that when you look at film, and I've been fortunate to play in some big ball games in years past, and seen a lot of good football teams, and they're right up there at the top of the list as far as how good they are and how good they really can be when it's all said and done. They're going to have, in my opinion, they're going to have a chance to make a really deep run this year in December and make some noise in 4A Division II. It all starts offensively with their quarterback, the Thompson kid, and he's got over 1,000 yards passing. He's right at 400 yards of rushing on the year. He averaged, in 4 games, he averages 100 yards on the ground, 5 touchdowns. And, the most impressive thing with this passing is, he's got 13 touchdowns on the year and no interceptions.
Yep.
And over 100 passing attempts, hasn't thrown an interception yet. So he takes care of the football, and man, they've got some weapons offensively. And, you can't really start anywhere, start with him. But other than that, the running back's good, and he's got 4 or 5 receivers that can go to the house at any time. They're really well coached, and they're just a sound football team, especially on offense. Defensively, they're just as impressive. Their D-line does a good job of clogging up the middle, and the other 8 guys are fast, and they get to the football, and they are unhappy when they get there.
Yep.
They are very, very physical on the back end. One of the most physical groups, secondary groups I've ever seen on film. From their corners to safeties, they all fly to the football, and they're always they're mad when they get there. They're very physical, and again, very well coached on the defensive side of the ball as well.
Well, when you talk about Graham, and when you look ahead into your district, and you've got Decatur, and you've got Burke Burnett, and you've got a Springtown team that's a little surprising at 2-2, and a Wichita Falls team that's surprising at 0-4, you can at least tell your kids you're not going to see anything better than what you're going to see this Friday night. It's a good calibration game for y'all.
Oh, no doubt. It's going to make us better, and we're going in the game to try to win the game, and our kids know that, and we're not going to back down from anyone. But it is going to be a big test for us, and I'm just looking forward to how our kids respond against a good football team. It's going to be a test, and at the end of the day, it's a non-district game. It doesn't really matter when it's all said and done. I mean, it matters for me because I hate being the competitiveness. I want to win the game. Don't get me wrong, but we're always trying to get better to when it really matters, and everybody knows when it really matters is the district. So it's going to make us better, win or lose.
Is your demanding work lifestyle in need of fire-resistant clothing that can keep up? Well, L4FR clothing should be your go-to for quality, affordability, safety, and style. L4FR was founded by a third-generation oil field worker who is also a veteran. Thus, this company has a deep appreciation for reliability and longevity, all while we provide first-rate customer service. Our durable apparel will serve you well for many years to come, whether you're working on a pipeline, a lineman climbing utility poles, or in any other environment requiring fire-resistant apparel. L4FR has you covered. Our apparel is tough enough to resist hazardous conditions while still providing high comfort and style. L4FR provides clothing options to ensure your safety and comfort, whether you're on the job or not. To view our complete inventory of flame-resistant garments, please visit our online store at l4frclothing.com or give us a call at 817-757-4935. Si habla español. I always appreciate coaches that are very open about when they're playing an opponent that's really, really good. And you need that because you need to be, put that in perspective. No matter what, win or lose, the game doesn't matter as far as, going to the playoffs. And as always, I also appreciate Cody Worth for just doing a coach's interview with us here as we are back on the Jack Powell Ford Mineral Wells Coaches Show. You can find us on Facebook. Just type in L4 Media Company. Type in Sideline to Sideline. You can also listen to Sideline to Sideline if you would like, as we talk 4A, 3A, and 2A each and every week. And we also do it on YouTube. You can find our podcast on every podcast platform on YouTube at L4 Media, or just go directly to S2SGrantandTerry.com. And this is going to be a tough game. Graham is a really, really good team, but I think there's nothing but positives coming into this game because of what you're going to learn and the speed you're going to see and the physicality and the talent. And then when you play other teams the rest of the year, you're going to be like, wait a minute, we've played better. We can handle this because we've played better. And that's what it's all about. So we will be talking district next week, and I'm so excited for that. I'm ready for district play. I'm at that point personally where I'm getting a little, I'm ready for non-district to be over. Let's get into where the games matter. And non-district is fun. 10 games is a blast, but I'm ready for district play. So we're going to talk that next week right here on the Jack Powell Ford Mineral Wells Football Show on S2S Sports, part of L4 Media.